Today, boys and girls, we are going to be creating some of our very own friends. We are going to be making some puppets. Hello, my most amazing artists. Let's go ahead and get started. So in order to make our really awesome puppets, we are going to need a few supplies. You might need some scissors, a glue stick, maybe a few different markers, or even if you just have a pencil, that's okay. And then you might want a few different sheets of paper. So, here's what we need to do. We're going to take the piece that is going to be the color of our puppet, the main color, and we are going to start by folding it in half, hot dog style. So I'm taking the tall end and then putting them together. So this should be the skinny side. Remember, anytime we line up our paper, we want to find those corners, match them up, and then push down. So we make a nice crease. We're going to open our piece of paper, and then we're going to take the bottom and fold it into the middle, lining it up with the line in the center, pushing it down, and crease. We're going to do the same thing, top into the middle, and crease. So now, you should have 4 sections. You should see 3 lines on your paper. Then, you can fold it back close, and we're actually going to take this and fold it one more time into the middle, like so. So make sure that's nice and creased. And then I'm going to find the middle of my paper and I'm going to bend that over end to end. And we're going to give that a really good crease down here at the bottom. And then I'm going to take this top part and I'm going to fold it back down to the bottom. Remember, anytime if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video. Leave it crease, and I'm going to flip it and do the exact same thing. Bring that side down to the bottom. Now, at this point, if you wanted to, you could say, I'm ready to go ahead and use my puppet. And you could stick your fingers inside and actually go ahead and start maneuvering the mouth of your puppet. But I think he could use a little bit more decorating. So, if you wanted to, you could come back with a marker and you could add on some decoration. So remembering that the 2 intersections are my mouth, and the 2 outer sections are his chin and the top of his head. So here, if I wanted to, I could add, let's say, this is going to be a dragon. So I'm going to give him some scales. And I'm just doing that by repeating a U shape over and over. And notice the U connects to the one above it. Take your time. I'm going pretty quick with mine. Okay, so now that this part has scales, I want to think about giving him some other decorations. So, how about we get a white sheet of paper and we draw out some of the other features we might see on our dragon. So I am going to be cutting pieces out of this piece of paper, which means I'm going to be doing some collaging. And anytime we want to collage something, we always want to start from the corner or an edge of our paper so that we don't waste it all. If I start here in the middle, I'm going to waste a lot of this paper that I could use for a future project. So I think this dragon needs a nose. So I'm going to draw him a nose, and I'm going to leave some space at the bottom for a tab, and I'll show you how we're going to make that. But what I mean is we're just going to create a small thin layer Notice I'm just filling this in with some marker. Okay. And I know he also needs to have some eyes, so I'm going to give him some rather large eyes. Okay. And I know he's also going to need a tongue. So I also have this red piece of paper over here that I might cut some pieces from. Same thing, I'm going to start in the corner. And I think because he's a dragon, I'm going to give him a forked tongue. Why not? And then, oh, and he might also need some teeth. And then I think we're ready. So I'm going to make sure that there's plenty of space up here at the top before I start to make those teeth. Okay, now I'm going to cut all of these pieces out. Remember when we use our scissors that we always cut away from ourselves. And if you can, try to turn your paper, not your scissors. So I'm going to just quickly cut each one of these pieces out. There's one. Eye. Another eye. Let's get those teeth. Now, when you're making your puppet, you are welcome to make a puppet of any variety, meaning it can be a person, it can be a creature or an animal. You can even make your own kind of puppet. Maybe your puppet is like an inanimate object. It could be something like a refrigerator. I don't know why you would want to make a puppet that's a refrigerator, but if that's what you have in your ideas, I'd like to see what you come up with. So, let's get those pieces. And one more. We have our tongue to cut out still. Clear my work area here. Also consider that you could make a variety of puppets and maybe put on your own show. You could come up with your own play and maybe you could perform it for someone in your house. Maybe your puppet is the type of puppet who likes to tell stories or jokes. What can your puppet do? So, I have all my pieces, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that each piece has a tab, which is like having a little foot for it to stand on. We can't stand without our feet, and neither can most of these things. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this piece, and we are going to fold over the edge. So if you look here, I'm gently folding over just a little sliver of that paper and I'm creasing it down. If I look at it from this side, you can see that little tiny L. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing to all my other pieces that I want to stand up. So I'm going to fold this edge over on all of these pieces. Just a little edge for it to stand up on. This is again what's called a tab. T-A-B. Okay, so now that we have tabs on all those pieces, I can go ahead and start putting my puppet together. So inside my mouth, I want to go ahead and glue my tongue. I'm going to take my glue stick, make sure my cap doesn't get away from me. Add a good amount of glue on the back of this. And let's go ahead and put the tongue in the mouth. So if this is the top of the head and it opens its mouth, its tongue would be right about here. And I'm just going to push that guy down. Excellent. And then I want to get some teeth right along here. So let's give him some dragon teeth. I'm going to add glue on that little tab, not a lot. And then I'm going to push it down really well, because that's not a lot of glue. And I'm lining it up with the edge where it folds. Pushing it down really well. Okay. That one might need a little bit more. Let's add some here. Sometimes it helps to add glue in more than one spot. There we go. Now he's got some teeth. Let's give him some eyes. A little bit of glue on the bottom of the eye. I'm going to place his eye back here. A little bit more glue. Line these up where you think they should go. Okay, and his nose. Okay, so now our dragon is complete. There we go. Okay, at this point you might want to wait just a second for your dragon or your puppet to dry. But then you should be ready to use him. So if you look at the back of your puppet, you're going to notice that there's a couple holes. In the top, the closest to the section that's on top, and on the bottom is where you want to put your fingers. He looks pretty good, doesn't he? Rawr! Okay, so I hope you have fun making your puppets. I'm going to show you one more that you can make, and then we will try it ourselves. So, happy making!